Hello guys, welcome back. I know I'm a bit late to joining the whole YouTube Christmas season, but I finally got together some Christmas thrift flips that we've been working on for the past 2 weeks. We have actually been sick, me and the boys, for the past 2 weeks. So we've been working on these projects here and there, and I love how they have turned out. All of these are using things that I think you can find at your thrift store, or you might already have the supplies at home. Got some decorations, maybe some gift ideas, as well as some things you could use to help wrap your presents. Think about 7 or 8 for today. So let's go ahead and dive in.
This first one I saw on Emily Faith's channel, and I just absolutely love how it turned out. She used plain white paper and then painted a few of hers, but I am using a thrifted book, which should be super easy to find at any thrift store. I found this one at the Goodwill bins, so it was super cheap. I'm going to cut out a bunch of circles for this. That's probably the most tedious part. I used a glass to get this size, shape, and then I folded each of these in half, and then you're going to add a small dot of glue to the middle of each of these little tacos. I really don't know what to call these things, but once you have all of these glued, you're going to add a dot of glue to the corners of the taco and sandwich one on top. I did find that it was very important to really press these down and hold it for a few seconds to make sure that that glue is really tight on there, because the next step is going to be attaching this piece all together. So you go ahead and add the same spots of glue and then open it up and squeeze that together really nice and firm until your ball is nice and solid. I used a little bit of twine as well as some red raffia paper, I think it's called. I got this at IKEA last year, and I think that it just makes it look super classic and vintagey.
All right, so let me show you how these Christmas tree ornaments turned out. Next one might be my favorite and is a little bit unexpected. You have to trust the process. So I actually found this piece of wood that had been cut into the shape of houses in the trash. So my husband was not convinced that I could save this thing, but let me show you what we did.
I'm sure someone worked very hard to paint all of these houses, but this just wasn't the look I was going for. And I mean, guys, this was in the trash. So my dad had our planer, I think this one is called, out. And so as you can see, he just planed the top off of this. So much easier than sanding it down or stripping it, which would have been the alternative. My goal for this is to turn it into a dupe of the Pottery Barn gingerbread houses. I mean, how satisfying is that? Just watch that. So I didn't want to use any stain as I am currently pregnant. So I tried using the coffee trick, using some instant coffee to kind of create my own stain. And supposedly this does get a little bit darker as it dries. I tried adding about 3 coats of it and it wasn't doing much. So I went in with a paint wash. I added a little bit of green in with my brown paint to balance some of the red tones that were coming through, and then water, and just brushed this on here, and it came out really nicely. Then I added my design in pencil. Found a scrap piece of wood for my 4-year-old to work on. He turned his into a blizzard. I used some white puff paint. I think the puff paint really made a big difference here because it helped it really stand up off of the wood and give it that 3D icing look that I was going for with the gingerbread house. I just kind of started freehanding it after a little while, adding lots of little designs, and I think that really helped it come to life. Lots of little dots and scallops and swirls will make this really come to life. I wasn't too perfect about this, and it was super fun.
And here's how my gingerbread house decor turned out. Okay, so I'm not the biggest candle person. I love having them out, like especially candlesticks, because I think they look very vintagey and like beautiful in form, but I always forget to light them, or I light them and my kids just blow them out like immediately. So I was super excited when Home reached out to me. You're going to see this in a few of my DIYs in this video in the background because I've been using it constantly. This is a waterless diffuser, and I just wanted to mention it to you guys and share with you guys a discount code that I got that is better than any discount code you can get from their website. The scent that they sent me was Fireside, which is the most beautiful Christmas woody, sweet, homey smell. I love using essential oils in my home for cleaning and just for the aroma of them, but I have always not loved the water that you have to put into the diffuser. So this one does not use any water. I will show you how I put it in. It is like super simple. You just use this little dropper to drop it in there. It feels very luxurious. And then it is on a timer system so that you don't forget to leave it on forever and ever. And because it is waterless, the scent is actually a little bit more like concentrated. Below, I have a discount code for you, EmilyG10, that will get you 30% off of your order, which is more than their 25% off sale that they are running currently for Black Friday. This would make the perfect gift for anyone who likes their house to smell good. So let's jump into the next DIY. I've been seeing these in a lot of high-end magazines, these ornaments that are made out of like a frame. And it made me think, I mean, there are so many thrifted frames out there. I'm sure we could do this for so much cheaper. So I actually found a little tiny frame at estate sale for, I want to say it was 50 cents. It was in like a box that said 50 cents. So this one's almost like too easy, but let me show you how I turned it into a beautiful ornament.
So since my frame didn't have a back to it, this complicated it just a little bit, but what I did was cut down a piece of cardstock and then I mounted my picture onto this. I got a wallet size photo print from CVS, I think it was, and just cut it out and put it right in there and then used hot glue to attach this to the frame. And then I wanted to hang it with a little bit of velvet. So I found this at Hobby Lobby and I will show you some that I actually found after that I did this that I think would have been better. It's this nice, like really thin one. I did get this and you'll see it next week how I use it to decorate my home in lots of different ways. This was about $5 and it went really far. So I do recommend this little pack as well as these little ones here that have like a frayed edge. I think these have a very vintagey look and ribbon can go a long way when decorating. And here's how my miniature frame ornament turned out.
I think that ornament would also make a really good gift idea. I've received ornaments from friends that are very, very special to us and will continue to be on our tree for years and years to come. And one that's customized like this would be especially special.
Okay, this next one technically isn't a thrift flip, but probably is stuff that you already have. So this is going to be the viral cornstarch and baking soda ornaments. As you can see, this starts off very liquidy. It is a combination of 2 cups of baking soda, 1 cup of cornstarch, and 1.5 cups of water. But then once you heat it, just very low heat for a while, it turns into this paste, kind of like Play-Doh. Do be careful if you are doing this with little ones because when it comes off of the stove, it definitely is a little bit warm. But once we spread it out, it cooled pretty quickly, and then we were able to roll it out. Messy activities like this are always a bit chaotic, but they are my boys' favorites, and I try to be brave and keep doing them. I will recommend that you keep your surface that you're working on covered in cornstarch so that these stars don't stick, as ours did a good bit. But we ended up with a ton of beautiful stars that had a very beautiful handmade organic look. I strung them onto a piece of waxed thread, and I love the special handmade touch that it adds to our Christmas tree this year.
Next we have another ornament, but this one could be used on a gift wrapping situation as well, and it is using that book. So let me show you what I did with it.
Okay, we are pulling out that book again. You could honestly use scrap pieces of paper from the first ornament that I showed you guys to create this one because I found the smaller that your squares are, the cuter it turns out, but you're going to need 5 squares of equal size and then you create this shape here that kind of looks like a kite. And then you fold down the top like so and then fold the sides in. You essentially are creating a small diamond. So once you have this shape, you're going to fold it down the middle and make sure this line is nice and crisp so that your star can have a nice classic shape to it. You are going to use just a little bit of hot glue on either side of these and then glue that together. I think I still have a few blisters from the amount of times that I burned myself using this hot glue gun. So maybe you could get away with using a glue stick if you're anything like me, but also just try to protect yourself by using things like scissors to hold things in place. That always helps. And this is how this lovely classic star ornament turned out.
Okay, it's usually very easy to find this next one at the thrift store, and that is all you need is a frame. I also happened to find an art book that I was cutting my prints out of, but you could also find these for free on some websites where there is like open access from museums. I'll link one below that I like, as well as on Etsy. You can buy these for a few dollars.
I did ask you guys recently when I found this art book at the Goodwill outlet if you guys cut stuff out of books or if you feel like that is not allowed, and the consensus was definitely that it is totally allowed to cut stuff out of books. So after cutting these out, I went ahead and added Mod Podge to the top of this. I will say that the first one I did didn't turn out as great as the second one, because the second one I mounted onto cardstock first to prevent it from warping as it got wet with the Mod Podge. So I definitely recommend doing that, and then going along with the strokes of the painting helps. These are watercolor paintings, so it doesn't really make sense to have strokes, but I really love the way that it turned out. All right, this next one is a Pottery Barn aged ceramic vase dupe. So I will insert a picture of the inspiration, but I thrifted this lamp for a few bucks. I think a lamp is a great cozy touch to add around the holiday season. My parents were in town, so they helped me spray paint this. And this other stuff that my mom is spray painting here is stuff that we added to our patio that we found in an estate sale. If you guys missed that makeover, I think it was the last one that I uploaded, go check it out. I thought that was a really fun makeover, but it didn't get barely any views. But anyway, I am going in with the good old baking soda and paint trick to add a little bit of depth and texture to this. So I went in first with a brown color. This is how it looked. It looked kind of like animal print or something. I did want to show just how chunky that paint can get when you add that baking soda. And then I went in with a little bit of black mixed with green and brown to give it some more depth on top of the brown. And I think that I actually will go in with another color in a little while, but honestly, I just needed to finish this project. So this is how it looks now, and I really like it styled on my buffet table. I don't know how I lived without a light here. I would like to find an Empire shade to match the Pottery Barn inspiration picture that I will pop onto here, but for now, this one works. I got it free from Facebook Marketplace.
Before I show you this very last thrift flip, which I kind of shouldn't even call this a DIY because it was so easy, but I will show you because it was super cute. I wanted to ask you guys to like this video if you enjoyed it, and let me know in the comments below which DIY has been your favorite to see. I'll put a clip at the end of all of the DIYs together so you can remember what they are. That really helps support the channel. So let me show you this very last one.
Okay, this one really is as simple as finding a thrifted tree that doesn't have maybe the cutest base. This one came in kind of a cheap looking wooden base. So I put this into a little crock that I thrifted. I think it's giving a very vintage Mickey & Co look. I had such a fun time putting together all of these thrift flip DIYs, and I hope that you guys love them as much as we are. Next week, I will be sharing all of my Christmas decorating that I've done so far, which has been a lot. You're seeing some sneak peeks of it definitely in this video, but I have lots more to share, and I just absolutely love the thrifted, vintage-inspired, whimsical, nostalgic look that I have gotten to so far. So I hope that you all have a very blessed week and beginning of your Christmas season, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.
This is my theme for Christmas this year. Just kidding. It's the pillow inside.